There we go.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey! Hey!
Oh, yeah. All right.
Welcome to the Youth Ministry Garage, episode 197. Matt
We are
McGill,
almost
Josh
at 200.
Griffin, Katie
Hey-o.
Edwards, Doug Fields, here from the garage. And the director's, the executive producer's seat for the second week is Seth
Impressive.
Bartlett. How do you say your last name?
It's Bartlett.
Bartlett.
Bartlett?
So I've already...
It's like the pear.
Oh, yeah, that's helpful.
Bartlett? No.
Whoa, that's
What do you mean?
awesome.
Anyway.
So your name's Granny Smith? What is happening?
We are on a direct route to show 200, which is
Yes.
going to be live at U Specialty. Still plenty of time to join it. Well, by the time Matt uploads this, it could be after U Specialty.
Well, here's the deal.
What
No, it's
happened to
gonna
the last
happen. I believe
episode?
in
We
you.
got this.
Here's the deal. I didn't know we were going to go quite so long in doing podcasts, and so I drove away from here last time going, oh man, I left the podcast there. But as I was driving along, I was like, oh well, we're going to be here next week or whatever. No big deal. I'll get it.
So we haven't had a show in a while, and
Right.
it's your fault. I can't. That's the first time you've ever dropped the
That's
ball.
First time I've ever dropped the ball. It is the first time I've ever left the podcast there. Though.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
First time for everything.
Hey,
It's
well,
just
here's the deal.
Inventing new ways of screwing up.
Hey, Seth, is
of
the
my life.
air conditioning going to... Are we okay?
I mean, we can probably close a little bit. That'd probably be helpful.
Close the door a little bit?
Yeah.
Hey, look it up. We got it.
You know what's hilarious about this is I said let's do that last time.
Yeah.
And you said no.
Well, the air conditioning wasn't on.
No,
last
the
time.
air conditioner
I
was
don't
on.
know.
That's
It's
why I
so
said
hot
it.
when we close the door.
So
Maybe
that's
why.
So we're doing a pre-show now.
Oh,
Is that
pre-show to the show.
Okay.
Hey, we got some exciting things happening. We've got a Hall of
love
Fame
it.
person, a new Hall of Fame
Yes.
person, Jeremy Bloom. For those of you that are new, Jeremy, what it
Bloom where you're
means
planted.
is Jeremy Bloom from Fort Walton Beach, Florida, is on the Hall of Fame, which
That's
means
awesome.
he's gone back, Katie, to episode 00. Listen
great.
all the way through.
Not
Amazing.
Katie, but Jeremy.
I actually...
At 131, he was like, yes.
Josh and I, let me remind you guys, Josh and I were at D6 this last week,
Yep.
and Josh did
Nobody
a great
knows
job.
where that is or really what
Doesn't
that
matter.
is.
It's a conference.
Conference, a lot
Great
of fun.
job.
Yeah.
Josh did a great job emceeing. I spoke at it.
You
and
did a great job speaking at it.
We got.
Awesome.
I talked to a guy afterwards, and he starts kicking in, talking to me,
Kicking
and then
in?
he says,
What does that mean?
"Well, he just starts
Kicking
talking
in
about
money? You guys are playing.
No, he was kicking in conversation.
Okay.
We were having
Right.
verbal intercourse.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And,
Discourse.
and then about 30 seconds in, he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm a rewinder."
Oh.
What?
And then I went from a handshake to a hug.
Yeah, best
I said,
friend.
Come on, you can't be a rewinder and forget. The line is you greet that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love it. It is
special
fun
treatment.
when you meet somebody and they just they tell you right out of the
show
gate.
favoritism, but you guys still do it anyhow.
I watched the show. I love you guys.
There's nothing
Katie's
wrong with
amazing.
favoritism.
When are you gonna replace Matt? That's usually the first thing I hear.
Usually,
so
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Well, we also got some.
Always hearing what you
If
want.
you're a part of a youth ministry network, let us know
Yeah.
through the youthministrygarage.com where you send in your questions. We actually need some. I mean, one, is this show going to get up quickly?
Yeah.
Because we need some questions for the live show.
We're going to get them all up
yeah.
by tomorrow.
No, you're not.
Just gonna upload a few shows.
But Kyle Chaco, First Assembly of God in
Hi, Kyle.
Pendleton, Oregon, he sent us an email saying that he's a part of a network. We want to collect.
That's great.
We want to collect. We've got something special planned for everybody who is in a
All right.
network. Josh, this first
Yes.
question comes from Daniel. Say the last name, Katie.
Skovanovich.
Lugos?
Say it again.
Lugi?
DeLugos?
DeLugos.
Wait a minute.
Maybe the
You're
D
going to
is
go to a
silent,
question
though.
before we mention our wonderful sponsors?
I'm so racing to episode 200,
Yeah.
where
You just
where
can't.
actually our sponsors are going to
All be helping
be
us.
there.
Yeah,
that's right.
Azusa Pacific University is providing food.
Yeah.
Which Seth and I saw the receipt on that today.
Nice.
Better to ask for forgiveness than permission on that one. Remedy
we already
Live,
had food.
Remedy Live, they're going to be there, and they're going to be providing internet.
Yep, they're
Oh,
streaming
love
it.
it.
They're live streaming.
They're gonna do some good
And Leader Tracks, I'm not sure what they're doing.
Something. They're doing something. We love leader
They can't make
tracks.
it, but they're gonna send some stuff.
Can't make it, but they're going to send some
Giveaways?
stuff.
Prizes for days.
And Youth Ministry 360's kicking in a bunch of stuff.
Love it.
Youth Specialties is obviously hosting the whole convention.
Absolutely.
They are giving us, we moved rooms on them last minute. We've thrown a lot of things at
Wow,
Youth
that's
Specialties, and
exciting.
they are,
And the
Yep.
t-shirts from Lisa.
and T-shirts from youth stuff.
That's
and
cool.
there's a lot of
I love
stuff
free-
happening.
I love free shirts. That's
Hey,
pretty much
speaking of
all I
free
wear.
shirts, I saw you wearing one the other day for Operation
Ah.
Christmas Child.
Yes.
Very nice. We need to
Oh,
get
there
one
you
of
go.
those.
I do
OCC.
love. I do love Operation Christmas Child. It's true. We do the thing with them every year. It's awesome.
What does that mean? You do a thing?
We do a thing. Well, they do shoe boxes, and we did a series called Do Something. And instead of a normal message, we said we're not going to talk because come to church, everything's talk. This week we're going to do. So there's no message. There's no that where the message is in what we do. So they pack shoe boxes. We set up this like little store that the students would go through. They write notes to kids that are in need, and those shoe boxes eventually will be delivered to kids at Christmas. It was so much fun. We had a blast.
Awesome.
Yeah, most of the stuff that came in was donations, which was cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you went out and bought a ton of stuff.
Exactly. Our small groups rallied and got toothpaste and
That's
toothbrush and whatever.
You mean
really fun?
you didn't do a message?
No.
And it was probably their best weekend of the year.
It was really
Yeah.
incredible.
Totally fine with
And we
it.
put a few verses on the screen. There's my defense. Oh, yeah, we got a verse on the screen. So I mean, we talked about why we do something, and as a follower of Christian, you want to be marked by your good works. You don't do good works for salvation. And I said, today we're doing something, and we're doing something good for kids in
So
need.
the Samaritan
Samaritan's
Purse
Purse, yep.
shoebox. Do your own children do it in your family?
That we do every year.
Yeah.
Now that
your
one
whole
we-
church does it. Saddleback
Yeah,
Club
yeah.
does it, right?
We go out as a family and we go to the store and we very specifically let our kids pick out stuff for this kid, or in our case we do a few boxes.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun. It's
And
awesome.
a lot of our students will go and work in like the processing plant and serve together as a small group, like sorting
Yeah.
boxes and doing all that kind of stuff. We've done that a few
Exactly.
times with our small group.
So fun.
Great. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we see if they'll send us all a T-shirt? Because I actually like the
You're
T-shirts.
a little jealous of my shirt.
Well, SamaritansPurse.org. Visit them and they will send us a T-shirt.
They will.
Daniel DeLugos,
Free clothes.
South Park, Pennsylvania. Josh, this is, we've had this a few times, and it's becoming more and more
Okay.
question in our ministry, our podcast, is the special needs children.
Yeah.
And didn't you just recently do a blog post on this?
Yeah, I had-
morethandodgeball.com.
More than .com.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching, absolutely. I had a lady who specializes in special needs ministry ask if she could write a couple posts to help youth workers. So they're on there. Check them out. And I met a really great speaker. Her name was Shannon. I forget. Shannon Dingle from out east somewhere. And she was a great communicator on helping. It is.
Maybe Shannon Dingle could contact Daniel DeLugos, and then they could start a firm called DeLugos and Dingle.
It'd be the hyphenated name.
I like it. I was trying to be serious. I'm making a real connection out there.
be
It doesn't
serious.
work for you. Don't
No,
go for
I know
serious.
Shannon Dingle.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But she was great, and she was teaching a couple sessions on kids that have sensory issues, kids that are special needs, kids that are whatever ADHD or whatever. It was really really great. I was teaching at the same time. I was bummed I couldn't hear her full talk, but
Was she able to tell you what your issues were?
no, I have a lot of issues.
Well-
My kids not so much, but me.
Daniel writes in, and he,
Yeah.
basically what everybody says: it's tough, it's difficult, we don't know what to do, they're disruptive, our regular kids are frustrated. And on our site, the Youth Ministry Garage, you could, Seth, can they search special needs for the question?
Oh, the one that we posted.
Because we've addressed this a couple times before.
Yeah, just last week actually we had one on teens with autism and it had some really great responses to it.
Cool.
Great.
Cool.
So
Oh,
check that out. Check out our
YouthMinistryGarage.com.
youthministrygarage.com. Okay, this one we can all relate to. We've all experienced this. Joel Hadelman from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Thanks for your work in putting together a great show. Here is my question. My church has 3 worship services,
Okay.
2 on Sunday morning. And for a while, our middle school ministry is met during the later Sunday morning service. The room was getting full, so we decided to add an additional service on Sunday mornings during the earlier service. It was a move we needed to make, but after a couple weeks, the early services felt a little lame due to lesser attendance, which result in less energy, etc. The later service is better attended and feels great. What can we do to even out the attendance, and how can we make the earlier service feel energetic when the room feels empty? Do you run into this with your ministries, and how do you handle it?
Great question.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Uh-huh.
Done this many
Yeah.
times. Anytime you move from one
Definitely.
service to 2 service, be
Yeah.
ready. Be ready.
I mean, I'm wondering, when we need to get to there, because our room for some weeks is super, super full, and I just know that if we go to 2,
So hard.
there's the potential to to grow more, but I just know that first service for years, Sunday morning, was just...
Well, and it doubles the work, and it, you got to be there much earlier.
Zombie-fest.
It's
Yeah.
adding a second service is a...
Well, when I speak in
Those are not double work.
Josh's ministry, that 4:30, the first service on Saturday is
Yeah.
death. I want to stab myself in the neck
Yeah.
every time.
That's really...
it's true. I walk off the
though.
stage, I want to quit youth ministry.
Yeah.
But it is a
I
tough...
love 4:30.
You do? You love the smaller...
Well,
the kids
I
that
know,
don't want to talk to anybody?
I know a lot of people.
Low
I
energy?
know most of the kids at 4:30.
Okay.
But I just feel like I just have mentally gotten myself in the place where I feel like they're so enthralled with what I'm saying
Oh,
that they
that's
just
good.
can't possibly
Yeah, that's a good...
make any noise.
Wow.
So you
The
deceive
song
yourself.
is
Deception,
so
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at my best at 4:30 probably.
Well, I think different personalities will respond different ways because I'm
For
a
sure.
crowd guy.
For sure.
I
You
think
feed
that,
off the crowd, yeah.
And so the energy, the buzz, I feel like a big service is what I kind of long for.
Yeah.
And a little service really does suck the life out of me. So I can see why you, as a different type of person,
But
would
don't you
drive.
don't you feel like you approach your couple of services almost with a little bit of a different mindset? I feel like I'm a little
Absolutely.
bit of a different youth pastor at my services.
Most
like,
definitely.
Kind of going with what my students.
And we've tinkered with the idea of creating a totally different Sunday, in this case, Sunday morning at 9 a.m., look totally different. Meet around tables. It's more discussion based. Embrace the small crowd. Like, don't try to force that into high energy youth group, and let students that lean that way migrate there and bring their families to that service. And if you want the room is full, nuts energy buzz, do that even more. Now that again adds a lot of work. But what if instead of like trying to make them both equal or da 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 da, embrace their differentness?
Well, our biggest service used to be our not funnest service. Like when we started doing Saturday nights,
Yeah.
because we were just on Sunday, and then we moved to that Saturday night service. And I remember both high school and junior high were not the greatest. But then the church as a whole kind of did a little bit of a push, and we moved some of our core families to that Saturday night service, and then
Well,
that
the
service
church
became.
spent a ton of money.
Yeah, I mean, it was a
tried 3
church-wide
times.
push of trying to move families off of those Sunday
Yeah.
services, but sometimes,
That's awesome. I visited
Well-
that weekend. I visited Saddleback when you guys were moving to Saturday night, and I
Yeah.
was like, they're asking their people to leave this service. It was just
Yeah.
flooring.
Well, the question is about how do you even them out? I don't know if you're going to even them out. My daughter, who just left here, a senior in high school just a few minutes ago to go to volleyball practice, she and her friends go to the 6:30 Saturday night because that's
Yeah.
the service. Now, if she can't go for whatever reason, she'll go on Sunday morning.
Yep.
But it's a totally different feel. So kids are going to go where the crowds are. They're going to go where they feel accepted and wanted and the whole bit.
and their
Yep.
friends are.
I'm not sure you're going to even them out. I think you just
Yeah.
have to approach them different.
Yeah.
And what I did when I was in that situation is I went a little bit dress rehearsal, the first one, which isn't the right thing to do,
Yeah,
but
you want to pretend that's not true. It's totally true.
I did. But I also said, hey, you guys, these are the ones that don't know anyone, so we need to ramp up our relational.
That's great.
Remember Eddie on stage with the bagel in his mouth?
Yeah, Eddie James, who's on the Skit Guys, was an intern for me one time, and I remember him just one of the lower services. He's like eating a bagel. Hey, everybody, welcome to Sunday morning. Like, hey, Eddie, little.
A little pep.
Yeah,
little
come
pep.
on.
This is a bagel.
Change
This
that
is
up a little
bagel.
bit.
Oh,
But
that's
you have the
awesome.
opportunity to talk to some of the kids that are maybe more introverted.
Definitely.
Are they there because they're probably being forced to go by their parents?
Yeah.
If they had their way, they might go to the other service. So you really have to kind of gear yourself at, okay, we're probably not going to even out
Sure.
these services. I mean, by our experience
Yeah.
anyway,
Absolutely.
we've never
You
been
gotta
able to
suffer
even
through
them
sort
out.
of-
Yeah.
But things change relationally, because I think that's why I like 4:30, because I look out into our 4:30 service and I think I know everybody.
Yeah.
I
Which
mean,
is
most
great.
of the students.
is
So I think that's why I love that crowd.
Yeah,
is 'cause
great
I just feel
relationships.
Like, oh, I love you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
if you
well,
could do
let's-
things to the room to make it still feel full, I mean, like
That's
you
good
have
stuff.
a
Yeah,
balcony
setting.
you're able to do. We used to, have different, not as many chairs set up, so it was clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did that with
Optical illusion.
anytime you can
Optical
bring
conclusions.
the room to make it feel smaller.
Definitely, yeah.
We're going to send Joel a great book from Youth Ministry 360 called New First Steps for Christ
New
Followers.
Christ Followers.
And anybody that wants to order anything from Youth Ministry 360, all they have to do is use a code.
The code is secret.
Yeah, I think it's YMG. I can't remember.
We should post that in the description this week, just so people can see it on the website too.
Okay,
Very good.
Seth, you're the executive producer.
There you go. Make that happen. And can you open that door? It's really hot.
It is.
It's so a garage. I should take a picture.
Hey, there's a question from Wes Brewer in Kentucky, and it's a long, as you can see, it's a long question. Let me just answer it. Wes,
No, sometimes. Every once in a while.
Wes,
You're
it's time to leave. It's time to leave.
Oh, was that a nameless one?
Oh.
No, it didn't say nameless. I think anybody in this guy's church, his father-in-law was the pastor. His father-in-law was run out, backbiting, email, everything nasty about a church describes his church situation.
Which is what Jesus intended.
And
churches are nasty?
and he is going,
Picture like pitchforks.
I've
running
been there
Torches.
for 4 years. I've got this group of students, and basically what we've heard, my main reason for staying is not to abandon these students.
Yeah.
But at the same time, his own family is suffering, and you're not abandoning the students. You've been faithful to them. You've developed good leadership. They can take over.
You're trusting them to
provide
the kingdom
somebody
of God.
else.
Yeah, that's just it's a
how
long,
awful.
yucky one.
Sorry, Wes.
Sorry, dude.
Okay, here's a less yucky one. Stephen Kelso, Overland Park, Kansas.
All right.
Is
The
garage
heartland.
dwellers or something? I keep seeing this on all of the emails.
Garage dwellers?
Where does Garage Dwellers originate, Seth?
Yeah, we called an episode that way long ago because someone told you guys that.
And here we are.
Oh, got you.
Stop.
Oh,
Got
Dungeon
it.
Family is what we should be called.
The Dungeon Family?
Andre
The
3000.
Sweaty Four. That's what we could be called today.
That is totally true.
You know
That is
Dungeon
totally
Family?
true.
Seriously.
I'm the youth pastor at Cornerstone Wesleyan, a small, less than 100 but growing church. Now, this is more geared toward me. I can relate to questions like this. You guys are mega churches.
No idea.
Just a good.
You guys, mega churches, multiple services.
Yeah.
Oh, you were kind of curious during that. I was a little quiet. Interesting.
What's interesting
Matt
about
being
that?
quiet?
Yeah, Matt being quiet. Not that it. Yeah.
Anyway,
I
let's
liked
get
it.
to Stephen's.
All right, Steven, what do you got?
God's blessing our ministry. The youth group consists of a regular group of about 10 teenagers. They're all really great kids, which I love that phrase. And understand the value of friendship, all the while including anyone who visits in that bond.
We just started a second service.
What's wrong with that? You saying you can't do that?
That being
No,
said,
don't do it.
what can we do from the youth group standpoint to grow? You with us, man? You just remember when I used to take away your phone?
Yep.
When you didn't have the discipline to not be engaged?
Remember when it took so long for you to get through a question?
Well,
That.
that's what it feels like when I have to interrupt you all the
I'm
time
getting
because
tired
you're
of
on
carrying this.
Here we go.
I'm bored of my own podcast.
All right, what do you got?
I would really like to see attendance double over the next year. We got to open that door.
Yeah,
it is seriously. Forget it.
You know exactly how to make
Forget
me
it.
mad. I love it.
Forget it. Open the door.
Give me some cross breeze.
Dang, it's hot.
Oh yeah.
It's October in Southern California, and it is. Seth moved here at the end of August, and I keep apologizing. I've never apologized for weather in my life in Southern
Yeah, I
California.
know.
It is so
I lost
miserable.
4 pounds
This
this
isn't what
show
we're
already.
about. This isn't what we're about.
Oh.
More cancer,
I
Katie.
don't-
Shoulder cancer.
I had cancer.
Really
cut.
close
Look at
to
that.
it.
Ah.
You think I'll feel bad about all my cancer jokes if you happen to pass away from cancer?
You
You
don't
know what?
pass away from shoulder cancer.
Here's the deal.
You could
As
feel
long
that
as I do
about
before I
stuff.
hit 50, and you guys have to get tattoos of
Tattoo.
me.
That would be
Oh, I
so
forgot
exciting.
about that.
Forgot about
Yeah.
How
that.
could you forget about that?
That's public
Tattoos
domain
in
right now.
space.
Well, we are blood brothers, so maybe.
That's right. Remember we shared the diabetes needle?
It was an accident.
Yeah.
Late
Okay.
at night, things happen. And the good news, I'm not diabetic.
As far as you go.
All right. So where do we start? You guys
Where-
inspire me. I appreciate your blogs, Twitter, and of course watching the
Real
podcast.
inspiring right now.
Hopefully I
Blog.
can go to one of these conventions someday and meet you all.
Do it.
A live
Come
show.
to San Diego.
Where's he at? Kentucky?
If you were
Kansas?
paying attention, not checking your email, you'd have known that.
Kansas is
By
by
Texas?
Nebraska. Yes.
Colorado.
Yeah, it's right there.
Right next door.
Alabama. Let's get Arizona. Arkansas.
Okay, once 10 kids wants to double this group.
California.
Awesome.
Colorado.
Focus on evangelism. Focus on evangelism right away. So each one bring one, do a couple events, have some fun, and then take them one next step beyond that. So don't just put on a show or have a great event, but have an easy next step for them to get to. So, hey, we're doing this brand new series called whatever that might look like. We're gonna have a great event that kind of kicks it off, and invite them back to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
That would be an idea.
Yeah, we
Trying to get us back on track.
back on track. I mean, we tell people to invite friends, to bring friends every week. I mean, it's just part of the natural, whether it's in the message or announcements or something like that at the beginning. But we also push kind of a longer process. I mean, the thing that you started 100 years ago, friendship evangelism, where it's, pick some friends that don't know Jesus, that you pray for them regularly, and then we tweaked it a little bit. But so for us, it's pray, look for ways to serve him in practical ways, and then speak up when the time's right.
PLS.
That's
pray,
in
look,
Purpose-Driven Youth
speak.
Ministry, right? The friendship evangelism.
Friendship evangelism is, but it's slightly different.
A little different.
It's actually, yeah, probably. No, it actually.
Hard to improve your own stuff.
Yes. Yes. No, it was easy. No, it's actually more practical in that in friendship evangelism, it's like, here's 5 things to say. You could say
Sure.
this, and this.
Yeah.
Mine was
I
a
love
little bit different because it was actually the first thing we instituted in our ministry. So we didn't have prayer commitment. We didn't have any kind of serving. So
Yeah.
anyhow.
Well, this size youth ministry, which is the one that is at my little church now, that Seth and I are doing, is
Still bitter.
What are you bitter about?
I have an awesome small group that does not have a leader, and I was like, we got Seth,
See,
we got
I'm
him.
so much kingdom.
And then I write him this email application, all this stuff, and he writes back, hey, I want to say yes, but I kind of feel indebted to Doug. I don't want to go to his church.
He didn't
I
say
think he's
anything.
got.
Oh, that's wrong. But back
was-
on track. I don't
yeah.
know what you're going to say, but I'm going to add something new anyhow.
okay.
Okay.
Here's the deal.
You got to take care of the kids.
With 10 kids, is that you got to be careful that you're not casting the vision to double, so that becomes their only
Right.
purpose for coming. They're coming to youth group to be introduced to Jesus, to walk with him, to be taught, to be connected with
Yep.
other people. They're not thinking, boy, this would be such a better youth group if there was 20 like you are.
Right.
And the only people that really like crowds are leaders and people who validate their worth based on their numbers. But
you just talked about your daughter liking a crowd because it's the happening service.
that's true. That is true.
Sorry.
Well, her friends are there. That's more than
it's
her
more
friends
than
are there.
her friends are there.
Totally.
Yeah, that's true.
But your end game is not.
The fly.
Your end game is not. Hey, you guys, we got to get to 20
Yeah.
by next year.
Well, they can feel undervalued.
Yeah, that's where you
You're
care
looking
for
over
the
that.
ones you've got. I love the idea, Josh, of a special event. Hey, we're going to do a scavenger hunt, and here are the 3 teams. You 3 teams. You get 1,000 extra points for every friend you bring.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
that's the start. Let's go.
Love it.
And
Or you can't sign up without bringing a friend.
Yeah, you gotta have a friend in the car or
Which is
whatever,
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think part of it is it takes a little bit of time, and so you're casting a vision for what could be, and I think if you're going numbers, you'll miss out. But if you can say, your friends need to know Jesus,
Yeah.
and you're a part of this 10-person thing we've got going is so awesome.
Yeah.
What if we could pray a few more people and welcome them into our community and help them walk with Jesus, and don't pitch the numbers, I'm going to shave my head, but although that's
And
fine
have
too.
a couple of leaders ready to go
But
too.
yeah.
So that when those students come in, there's an instant, care, connect. Or
Totally,
something.
yeah.
So we, one of our schools, one of our leaders, on every Thursday they do a lunch. All the kids go there for pizza anyhow, so he goes to one table, buys 4 pizzas, and just kids we know, bring your friends. He coaches
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And so I went last week. Super fun to hang out and meet some kids. And so we had this idea, just as we were talking about it, me and this other leader, we had this idea saying, hey, we've got a Halloween party coming up. What if we bought pizzas for everybody in this room and then just said, instead of having 2 tables filled with pizza, it's all 12. But what if we just didn't buy the pizzas ourselves? Let's go to our small groups in that area and say to the kids, hey, do you guys want to donate money to buy pizza for all your friends? And they're totally into it. Like kids that I didn't even think they were going to be. So they're going to pay for pizza for everybody, and then bring their friends, and then with that, just kind of be a little invite card saying, "Hey, this is brought to you by HSM" or something like that.
Fun. Little Caesars,
So-
I hope. Gotta be
It's
cost
actually kind of an
effective.
expensive pizza place, actually, which sucks. But I mean, all high school kids from this high school go there.
It's like
Yeah.
It's CPK. Yeah, that would be Newport. But what I like about that, though, is I like that the kids, the idea that the kids high school
Yeah.
students are involved
Oh,
with
that's
it.
rad.
They're not just bringing their friends; they're also helping to pay for the pizza.
that's a great idea and a great way to invite students
So-
who are just in your community.
Yeah.
So,
Quick aside, the breeze feels so nice.
Yes.
The smell of trash and the flies, I don't know.
you can smell trash.
Do you want me to take that out?
It's a garage. Yeah, would you?
I seriously, I'll take it to the curb on my
Take it out
way.
in your own house. You can
That's
take it out
true.
here.
That's why I have children.
Yeah.
Who does take out your trash?
I do.
Oh.
Every Monday night.
Every Monday night.
That's what
You
I
only
do.
take out your
How
trash
you
once
guys
a week?
doing?
Once a week, that's all they pick it up. We
Oh, you mean
That's
like
twice. You need
I
to
know,
give
that
me.
was-
Yeah,
that was a joke.
to
You
the
need to
curb.
give me. No,
I
it
was-
wasn't
I
a
didn't even
joke.
read anything.
You did too.
No, that was told. That's why I was like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" Come on, I wouldn't lie about
The
that.
iPhone's been out for like 4 months. Don't worry about it.
Is that when this podcast is going to be?
I'm assuming that in 4
Posted?
months, about 2013.
All right.
this will be
Well, we're
up.
kind of doing it. One more question. We're doing a
Okay.
shorter show because we're trying to crank out 2 shows to get to 200 in
Yep.
time. All right.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is super fun.
Well, because you're keeping us on track, Katie.
Yeah.
It's
so that
Miguel.
short,
Where's the
sassy
red light?
haircut is
Becca Brainerd from Portland, Oregon. Hey, everybody. I just have to say thank you for having Megan Hutchinson on show 193. Not that I don't love Josh, but it's always great to be introduced to new faces and resources that are available. Thanks to your shameless plug of Megan's blog, I found her book, Help, I'm a Woman in Youth Ministry, downloaded it, and started reading right away. It's been really helpful and challenging.
Cool.
Doug, I was hoping that you could tell me a little bit more about one of the resources I found on our page, Life Hurts, God Heals, or tell me about any similar resources. I'm not sure I have enough students right now to make an entire group class worthwhile, but I do have some students that are really hurting. One is a young girl who struggles with everything that you can imagine, from anorexia to poor body image to self-mutilation, pain of a broken family, and a rape less than a year ago.
Oh, shiminy shit.
Praise Jesus, she is finally to the point of wanting to get professional help for herself. I've done everything I can to love her, encourage her, and help her through her pain, but I know I have a lot to learn. Not every student who comes through the doors of my ministry will have the ability or the support to get the help that she's getting. I want to be ready and equipped to help them. Can you recommend any resources to help me better know how to counsel and help kids who are seriously hurting? Are there any books you would recommend giving to students who help them process the pain as well? Thanks for all that you do. The podcast has been a huge encouragement and resource for me during my first year in youth ministry. Well, Becca, one of the things that I did, I just had Youth Specialties send me all the books on that shelf, and the one that I'm concerned about, well, actually, I'm concerned about 2 of you stealing stuff. So we need to keep that shelf not stolen. If you want anything, this podcast is sponsored by Youth Specialties. You can have anything you want.
All right.
Let's
That's a very healthy shelf of resources right
Yeah,
here.
why wouldn't you ask them for 2 of everything?
Well, because then 3, 4. Why don't you just get what you
Just take
want?
stuff off your
Okay, I'll take what I want.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so what do you got? What
we
is
get
this?
what you want is what you said. Don't get what you want from there.
Yeah, just
Ask our sponsor. Don't.
talk to Matlock and say, hey, here's what I want. Shoot him an email. Those are what they're called. Since you're on your phone
I've
all the
never
time.
seen this before.
The Volunteer's Guide to Helping Teenagers in Crisis.
Cool.
Is it something you go through together with them?
Yeah, four sessions: Understanding Crisis, Spotting Crisis, Responding to Crisis, Preventing Crisis in your group, by Rich Van Pelt and Jim Hancock, both long-term veteran youth workers. Rich Van Pelt is part of Compassion International, has been Youth Specialties counseling go-to guru and guy for many, many years. So has Jim Hancock. You know Jim Hancock.
I know both those guys.
Yeah, and
What a
Jim is a
great
longtime youth worker and is
resource.
does a ton of stuff with helping and coaching volunteers.
Oh.
So there's
And
one
then Chap's got that
What a
book.
great
Didn't he just come out with a new version of it?
new version of Hurt.
Yeah.
Hurt 2.0. I'm not sure that's going to be. I mean, it's theoretical, big picture, excellent, the
Right.
best out there. But in terms of helping her
Kids.
and her volunteers be ready
Yeah.
for what's next,
You're going to send her this, or you're promoting it, or what?
No, I'm
You're
going to send
it
her
to
this. YS.
This is a
Why
great
is he
resource.
doing
Well,
This is cool.
We're we're doing we're going to do Life Hurts God Heals. So we're going to do
In, like,
sex
small
series.
groups, or?
No, we're doing it on the weekends.
Cool.
And so we're doing a sex series for 4 weeks, and then follow that up with Life Hurts God Heals. And so I'm really interested in this, and maybe our small groups need to start doing that.
That's right.
Cool.
Look at that! Wow.
What?
It's
Was
like
that-
this. It's like this show is offering ideas for us.
It's
even.
helping.
Well, I
Wow.
certainly need them.
But Life Hurts God Heals is a great resource too. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a great thing
Yeah.
to take students through as well. Like,
Yeah.
you know, just week by week, if you were going to meet with a couple of students or a couple of girls and take them through that, I mean,
Your
it's
daughter,
a great.
your daughter met with who's on my team. Met with the girl today who struggles with cutting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the Life Hurts God Heals. I don't think you don't have to have kids who have been through traumatic situations to start that.
Right.
I think, when we started it years ago, we started it to the weekend
Beneath
crowd.
the surface, there's so much.
And
happening.
a lot of kids are in pain in a lot of different ways. They just mask it differently or express it differently. But once you start talking about pain, their pain comes out, so you need to be ready to deal with it. And one of the things I've said for a long time is, if people say, my kid, I don't have kids like Life Hurts God Heals. Well, it means you're not talking about pain. Because once you start talking about pain, kids' pain will emerge, and then are we ready to deal with our pain? I don't even know where Life Hurts God Heals is anymore. Who holds the product? Is it Simply?
I think Simply Ministry still does.
Has it? Yeah.
I haven't looked at it in a while, to be totally honest, but it's a
I
good
just
resource.
lifted it from your hard drive.
But you and Megan wrote
I
that
have
a
it
while,
on my
and it
bookshelf, yeah.
is good stuff.
I mean, I wonder
Yeah.
if Megan on her blog, does she have any?
She would have a link to it, I'm sure.
You could maybe Google it. Want me to do that on my
What is
phone?
Megan's
No.
blog? I don't think that I
Life
read
Hurts
it
God
yet.
Heals.
Big.
Is it really?
No, I don't know what it is.
I need to,
All
I
right,
need to Google
Seth,
it.
is there anything we need to do before we close out 197? And then I'm going to turn my hat around,
Yep.
and we're going to do
Look at that.
198.
New show, new
Over the
outfits.
top.
Didn't see it coming. So great.
Anything we need to communicate?
Life Hurts God Heals is still available.
Okay.
Simply Administrator is a good place to look at it. You can look up Megan and kind of follow her stuff there.
Great.
Cool.
And then Remedy Live is another great resource. For
Remedy Live, come on, pitch that for
Oh,
hurting
so-
kids,
Oh,
McGill.
that was a softball, McGill.
It's
Am I the Remedy Live person?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're that guy.
I'd love to be the Remedy
We
Live
usually bring
person.
it up. Remind us.
I've done it twice.
Remedy Live is a great way to
first time.
care for your
Second ball
students.
dropped this
Okay.
podcast.
Seth, get in front of the mic, and how would you
Yeah, do
it?
it. Get up here. Get here.
I would just say that if you do have questions about reaching out to hurting teens, like you said, not all teens show they're hurting, but a lot of teens are hurting underneath the surface. That there's so many great resources for teens on RemedyLive.com. If you're a youth worker, though, go to soulmedicmedia.com, and there's lots of great
Medic Media.
Soulmedicmedia.com.
There's training videos on how to help with certain issues, and it's so helpful. It's great.
I did not even
That's
show
great.
that.
We need to show
That's the
the.
thing,
I know.
you were.
See, I pitched
when
it
you were
twice.
with
I
Remedy.
didn't even pitch it right.
Yeah.
Well, Remedy Live,
Yeah.
we ought to have an infomercial on how to
Yeah.
how to do that.
We need to share some of that with our life group
I was
leaders.
going to say,
It's our
can you
number
send me
one
an email
question.
with all that info in it?
Absolutely.
Is when do I refer
You want
to
me to
some
send you an
professional? When do I need to
No, I
report
want
this? All
Seth
those.
to
That's
do
cool.
it.
Okay, let's put that in the show description as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Seth needs to do a better job of helping us
Yeah.
with the resources that
Seth, I'm
that,
grateful for
I think
you.
he's doing a
that
good job.
Remedy
I'm glad
Live
you're
has.
here.
No, he did it just there. It's perfect.
I think he's
That was
he's really
strong.
just been perfect all the way around.
He's the new Janet.
He's
There's an
Matt's-
old
he's
reference
Matt's
for
Janet.
you.
The golden
Hey,
child.
speaking of the Golden Child, she's going to be down in San Diego for the
Awesome.
podcast. We should do
Good.
something.
Yeah.
I'm
We
so
should.
What should we do?
excited.
We at least have to acknowledge that she'll be. I mean, 'cause
Do you want her to take her chair?
what do you think about her jumping in for Katie?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
I can
God.
watch from the crowd and eat free food from Remedy. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Megan will take
Actually,
my
my
seat.
mother-in-law
I will
will
support
So you
you.
could
I'll
skip
still
me if you
support
want.
you.
You could
Katie
have
and I
my
will
seat.
just watch the show.
Hey guys.
Now we got big
Megan,
plans. Big
Jana.
plans for the show.
Fun.
I'm
All right,
excited.
let's
We
end
do?
197 and
Sounds good.
we'll start 197.
See you in a couple hours. Yeah, here we go.